Door legends are used to communicate the look and type of door for those trying to install them out in the field. They show drawings of how the doors should look and are often surrounded by a border and other information. Let's go ahead and draw it in. Underneath the View tab here, we have the ability to select on Legends. Click on the word Legend. Now it's going to ask us, what do you want to name our legend? We want to call this a door legend. Next, change the scale to be 1/8 of an inch equals a foot, and click on OK. From here we have a blank drawing area, and the first thing we need to do is draw in the border for our legend. Unfortunately, there isn't an automatic border command in Revit, so you just have to draw it in by hand. Zoom out a bit. I know it's hard to see here, but if you just use your wheel, you can zoom out a bit, and then we're going to start to draw in a rather large title block, if you will, but it'll be a big legend block. Come up here, select on Annotate, pick on Detail Line. Choose Wide Lines off of the list so we have fairly robust lines when it comes time to print. Make sure that your line tool is selected. Click once, and now draw a line that's 7 feet in this direction. Draw another line going in the same direction, 7 feet, another line in the same direction, 8'4", and another line in the same direction, still 8'4". We've drawn each of those lines individually for a reason. It's going to make drawing our columns a lot easier here in just a minute. Now I'm going to come down 48 feet. Move over till you get to the edge there and you get the dashed line. And now come back up again. This is our outside border. Now we're going to draw some of the lines going straight down. So select on your detail lines again and pick the end point of each of those lines you just drew and just bring those straight down. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and use the copy command and copy these lines down. So select on those lines, come up to copy, make sure multiple is checked, click right there, and for this is going to be the area where our titles are at, so just come down 3 feet. Everything else is going to be 9-foot increments. So go down 9 foot once, twice, 3 times, and finally a 4th time. Now we have our grid in place that we're going to place all of our information into. Now start to zoom in here and select on text up here underneath Annotate. We're going to want a 3/32 inch Arial text. Zoom into this area, click inside of the box, and type in door mark. Click out. If you hit escape, it'll probably erase it, so just click right there and type in door mark. And whenever you're done, click outside of the box and it'll finish up the command. Now while it's still highlighted, if you can, see if you can move it. If you can't, just click on it and just move it over. You can always use the nudge command if you wanted. Next, select on that title and we're going to copy it on over, and we're going to use the copy command and we're going to use that for our other category headings. So click and click and click and click on over until we have 4 categories. This first one is going to need to be door type. This one here is going to be elevation. The next one is going to be called plan. Elevation is the way the doors are going to look in elevation view. Plan is the way that those doors look in plan view. Go ahead and let's just center this up so it's all appropriate and it looks nice and neat. Next, after you've done that, we're going to add some letters coming straight down. We're going to do A, B, C, D, and E. To do that, I'm going to select on one of our titles, come up here to copy, and I'm just going to copy it down 1 spot to begin with. And once we get down to about the midpoint here, you can go ahead and let go. Now, click, change this to be an A. You can see how it's left justified, and it's probably not what we want it to be. So once it's highlighted, come back up here and select on Align Center, and that's going to align it right in the center of this. Now, I'm going to move this over, and also I'm going to expand out this text box so that this is going to stay centered inside of our legend. Select on this, use the copy command, and copy it straight on down. And we're just going to copy it again and again and again until all those cells are filled. Now we need to change each of these to read B, then C, D, and E. And these letters correspond to specific wall designations. And those wall designations are the type marks that you can see in our schedule. Once you have all those, come back over here to the door type, copy it over. And I'm going to turn this into a 3068. I'm going to hit enter. Exterior, enter, hinged, enter, door. Now select on it after you've typed that in and use your nudge tool, the little arrow keys on your keyboard, to raise this back up a bit. Now this is going to be the shortest line out of this series of 5 that we're going to be placing in here. So I'm just going to raise this up just a little bit so it's not quite centered, but it'll be in roughly the same spot as far as the top goes, is where it's going to be in underneath all these other categories. Now I'm going to select on this, and I'm going to use the copy command. And I'm going to copy this actually all the way down to the bottom one. And now I'm going to change the text of this one to say 6068 interior double hinged door. Hinged door. Select on that and go ahead and copy that one on up to each of the remaining cells. Now that you've done that, let's go ahead and come back up to B again. Click in here. And this one's going to be, instead of a 6068 door, this is going to be a 3068 door, and it's going to be an interior single hinge door. C here is going to be a 5068, so 5068, interior double sliding door. So we need to change hinge to be sliding. After that, we have a 6068 exterior double hinged door. So we're going to change interior to be exterior. And this information is correct. Now we need to start adding in those individual pictures into each of these categories. In order to do that, we're going to once again come up here to annotate, and right next to the word component, there looks like there's a little down arrow or a little triangle. I'm going to select on that and pick on Legend Component. Depending on the resolution of your screen, it might actually be right to the side of the word component, but go ahead and click on Legend Component. Once you have that, we need to place this door in the appropriate location. This one happens to be a double glass 72 by 80. Now the double glass 72 by 80, that one is our exterior double hinged door. So I'm going to go ahead and move that one down to this location. This is the double hinged door that leads out from our dining room area and goes out onto our back porch, our back deck. Go ahead and click there. Next, come up here to view and change it to be floor plan. If you do that, you'll now have your doors swinging out in your appropriate floor plan view look. Now there is this little box that shows up down here at the bottom of it. What this is it's your actual wall symbol, and it's showing up whenever we're placing these components. Well, whenever we're done placing the components, we're going to turn off walls so we no longer have to see that little box down there at the bottom. And it looks appropriate for that door symbology. Next, we need to find a few more of our doors and start to place them in. Another door that I know that we're going to use was the door's front door. That was our front door of our house. And that's the very first door up here, the exterior hinge door. So go ahead and move this, kind of line it up with the door down below, and go ahead and click. After that, move up here to floor plan and change this to be a front view. And drop your front door's front elevation right onto our legend. Another door that we were making use of was this door's single dash flush 36 by 80 door. So go ahead and select on that. And that's going to be door B here on the list, and put it roughly centered with the rest of them. We can always tweak it to get them to line up after the fact, but just put it in place for right now, and those adjustments can be made later. Come up to floor plan, put the floor plan view of that door onto the sheet. Let's take a look for a few more doors here. The next one is going to be the 5068 interior double sliding door. And this designation here on our chart is a doors sliding closet 6080. So go ahead and select that off of the list, pull it down, put that floor plan view in place or the elevation view in place, depending on which one that you chose, and then come up, change it to the other kind of view, and drop that in the correct spot here on our legend. Once you've done that, we just have one more door to go. So let's come up and look for the 6068 interior double hinge door. That was the larger of our two closet doors, the two sliding doors. So it's the sliding closet 72 by 80 door. We're going to come in here and we're going to drop this down to the bottom here. And we're going to place the floor plan view of that over here in this column. Hit escape a couple of times to get out of there. And then you can select on your individual doors and tweak them by just using your little arrow keys on your keyboard, the nudge command, in order to nudge everything in place so that everything is lined up and nice and perfect. One last thing we needed to do was shut those walls off here in the plan view. And to do that, you can either type in V in the keyboard, Victor, Victor, or come up here to Visibility Graphics and click on the big Edit button here. And you can shut those walls off, which is what that object is, by clearing out the box, clicking on OK, and now you can see that that box is gone. Now, this was a long process. A lot of drafting was involved, but this is really a needed step so that the people out in the field can identify the doors as you've drawn them, both in your floor plans as well as your elevation views.